GRASS is a very exceptional software. Most of my students who have worked with GRASS GIS have found it extremely useful when they went into their professional organizations. We would definitely be doing an
situation. Other people for other reasons. Unajua unaweza block mtu hutaki kuongea naye for like 2 days and then you block the number for 2 days and then you unblock. Unaweza kuwa na mtu.
Okay, so what we really have going here is that when you go into a professional organization, you're going to find GRASS GIS far more useful than the general software that we know. I'll shift to my system where I have my virtual machine installed at. I'll start the machine. I like to work on these virtual machines for many reasons. One of the reasons being that most of my data and software and everything are in a closed location. So my work related material is placed separately and my personal material is kind of placed separately. It helps me work better and in a more efficient way. So this is where I work. I start my GRASS GIS software. And start it in my temporary location. So obviously I'm not gonna work in this temporary location. I would rather want to switch to where I was working previously. But if you see, I can't really work in this one because this is owned by the root user. So I'll come to this particular one. We had created an RGP last time in our class when we were working on this. When you're working with GRASS GIS, is one thing that you could really do with it. That is GRASS GIS time series processing. So what really is in here is that actually can work for you on 2D and 3D temporal data processing. And this is by far one of the most useful functions that GRASS GIS has on it. So whenever you're working with big data sets, you could use any of these functions. There are obviously certain ways to connect to your time series data, to create a time series data, to register a time series data, to unregister time series maps, etc., or to remove these time series maps as well. So you have the connect, the create, rename, remove, and everything that you could do. You could also do time series queries. You can also do time series geoprocessing in GRASS GIS. Source code for it is available as well. So if at any point you feel like you need to use it, you could do so. And you could probably find a sample database. In a situation where you cannot find a sample database, there is definitely no worries. What you could do is you could go to Labs web and you can download a time series dataset. Now, when I say time series dataset, I mean that this is data that is spread over several weeks, months, or years. Of the datasets that are time series data, and that is very useful altogether, is the MODIS dataset and the Weaves and the MARIS datasets that you could do. You could also go for the Sentinel datasets as well, but the time series is not as continuous as it is in case of Terra, MODIS, or Aqua. What you could do on the large web is you could actually go to the missions section and you could probably pick one of the missions, let's say the Terra Modis products. You can go to the Terra Modis datasets and you could then pick what kind of environmental phenomenon you would like to work with. Generally, what people do is with modest data is they do plant type classifications. So you could work with that kind of data set. For the NDVI dataset, I would say the normalized different vegetation index, which gives you an idea of where the plantations are. Or you could probably work with cloud datasets, or you could probably work with leaf area index, or even thermal anomalies. Since summers are arriving and we are going to be having somewhat globally warmer summers, so I would recommend that you test your time series processing skills with the land surface temperature and emissivity datasets. There are several kinds of land surface emissivity and temperature datasets that you can pick from. This one, 11L2, is the SWOT data. This is the raw data, the one at the top. You probably would not be needing this. Let me zoom it in further so you could read better maybe. Yeah. Then you have surface temperature emissivity daily, L3 global 1 kilometer sinusoidal, emissivity 8-day, emissivity global 6 kilometers, and you could probably pick one of them. The mod 11A1 dataset by far is the one that is the most used globally. The product is daily. The spatial resolution is 1 kilometer. This is how the name is. So what you would have is you will have the mod 11A1 ESDT mentioned here. Then you have the year and day of the capture. The day is a 3-digit day. So that's like the first day to 365th day of the year. The hours and the minutes. The vertical, actually it has, MODIS has these vertical and horizontal grids. So the vertical grid number and then the format for that matter. So this is usually the HDF. So you can actually get both the vertical and the horizontal series. So the MODIS uh, horizontal and vertical grid sinusoidal, if I search it here, I'm going to actually tiles. So you can actually get the sinusoidal tiles on the screen from which you can pick which area you are working for. Sometimes we do that on the basis of this. So for where I am sitting right now, it is the horizontal 24 and the vertical 5. This can vary for your place. So when you're downloading your MODIS data, you would probably be needing this kind of information in advance or this kind of awareness. I'll zoom to 100%. I'll pick this data set. Then I'm gonna obviously need to pick time. So let's say I would like to see how temperatures were in the last 10 years, or maybe 20 years, or maybe 24 years. I'm gonna pick from the 1st of Jan here. The end date could be, let's say, the one that we are at right now. Then I'm gonna pick the day and night both, and then I'm gonna add the date. So the date is added from 1998 to 2024. Since the size of this data is constantly growing, it's actually giving us a very good global coverage. Now, if you are from a certain country which it has the data for, you could just click on that country, and actually it is previously it wasn't for these countries before, but now it is for all countries that it has. So I mean, since I'm from South Asia, I would be very happy if I could get it for both all of South Asia, or maybe some part of Southeast Asia as well. So I selected a few countries: Pakistan, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. I'll go with the files. It is going to find probably tens of thousands of files. And one of the serious limitations of this large stack is that it cannot help you download all this data all together. You will have to actually cut the size of the data. So when I pick such a big data set, it would probably not be able to find to download these files for me. It would rather tell me that this data is too big and I should probably cancel this one and select a time span that is shorter, or maybe a location for which it can easily give me data. So I probably exclude other countries for the time being. I will also reduce the time to about, let's say 2018 to 2024, and I'll set, so it is the archives that it have for the given dates. I'll have to do the search thing again. So it has picked I'll restore the search, and now I'll see if it can find some files. It's taking a little longer than I expected though. But then again, I've picked 6 years. So 6 years is a long time. What it usually does is, based on my previous experiences, it does not give you data for more than 2000 days or 2000 images in a search. If that is the case, we will have to reduce it to maybe uh, that amount of years. So I think that would be 6 years, but less than 6 years actually, 5 or 4 years. I could go back maybe and try to edit it to 2022 Jan to this and then save and then see what results it is able to load. Because what really would be the case is that it's going to be 4 images for the country. So when it's 4 images and 2 years, that is going to be a lot for it to search. I'll rather go with the tile spot. I'll just pick one tile and then I'll see what it does. So it's the horizontal 24 and vertical 5 that I picked. If it's still unable to search, then probably we will do something else to get this data. But I thought I must include it to tell you how to get data to be able to do your exercises with. Not again. Shouldn't work this bad though. Yeah, there you are. So it was able to find about 756 images for me. What generally is possible is to actually what generally is possible is to actually download these files directly off there. There's usually no serious issues. But since it requires one to further process this data, it usually is not recommended. What you could do is you could just select Control A or do as you like from here. So I've selected all 756 files. I can go to the selected files and I could probably have a look at one of them if I wanted to, because there's an image viewer that is available. And you can see then there's a day and a night image. And there's an error loading the image as well. That's perfectly fine. You can get this data. Now, when you want to get this data, you can just click here and you will get the data. Or alternatively, what you could do is you can review your data and order data. So as expected, I would be required to log in. It's just that I don't remember my password. You will have to excuse me for one kind second. I'll try this password and see if it works. somehow worked. So I have these images that are available to me. These are time series images. So there's an image for a day, there's an image for the night, and there are 700 images over a span of 2 years. So like not 2 years, yeah, we're fully a little more than 2 years. That is 26 months. These are 756 images. I will need to process them. So what I would do is I would actually, and this is for everyone, I would actually not want to download everything in this image. So first things first, there is too much of data. But if I, if I download, do not download everything, that means that I'll be massively expanding my download size because it would be changing all files into GeoTIFFs, which are big files. So I don't have an option, but I will continue with this. And then I'll go with the geographic information if I would like to. I don't need to mosaic them because they are the same. I will need to apply a geographic transformation. For many of you who are downloading from internet sources, it is very highly recommended that you apply a geographic transformation. The one that I usually use is the UTM, but you could go with Lambert conformal conic or maybe Robinson or any other. For me, UTM would work because I don't have uh, I don't have like anything else. So the limit is about 2000 files, and apparently I have, I think, more than the spatial data sets that they can afford to allow me to order. Now this is going to be very interesting because if I download it raw, I'll be causing problems and difficulties for the beginners users that we have. So I'll just download the land surface temperature for now, day and night, and this is 1512 files. I'll reproject them to the nearest neighbor, or I'll just do something else. Wait, I'll download the day. I'll not download the night for now. I'll go with the day, and I press control, and then I'll call QC day as well. So the quality control file. I'll reproject, and then I'll pick a delivery method. So it could be a CP get, or it could be some other method that I want. And then I'm going to submit my order. Now, once my order is submitted, it's going to probably send me a processing thing in 5 minutes or 10 days. And then I'll click to continue. I have a lot of other orders that I have given or launched in the past for bulk data. So I could probably go to these orders and get one of these orders downloaded again and do things with it. If I would like to see how much of my order has already been prepared for me, I could actually go on the order and check. Right now, my orders are expired, so I can't show you, but once your order is processed, it would be here. You can cancel your order at a later stage. Right now, obviously, you don't need to, but if you look at the amount of orders that I've already worked on, there are far too many. I'll hold it here. Once we have this data, we would then be obviously starting up with our exercise on bulk data processing using GRASS GIS. So you all need to, for your forthcoming exercises and sessions, use this tutorial to download your bulk